time. And, he called me and said, or somehow I got the call and they'd already started the show.
The showbiz industry is so tough that most TV actresses only manage to have a single iconic role in their lives. But then there are others like Katey Sagal who completely break the mold. With multiple iconic roles under her belt, Katey has sustained her popularity over several generations of TV, a feat that makes her stand out among her peers. How did she achieve this? How did she manage so many iconic roles across such different genres of TV? Let's find out while showing you some of her rare photos. On January 19, 1954, Katey Sagal was born to Boris Sagal, a TV and movie director, and Sarah Zwilling, a dancer. Boris was of Ukrainian Jewish descent, while Sarah had an Amish ancestry. With both of them being involved in the entertainment industry, Boris and Sarah raised a showbiz family. Of their 5 children, 4 of them became actors. There was Katey herself, her twin sisters, Jean and Liz, and her brother Joey. Growing up in Brentwood, Los Angeles, Katey was always surrounded by the glitz and the glamour of Hollywood. But then, she didn't exactly want to walk in her parents' footsteps. While her dad had been in the movie business and her mom had been a dancer, Katey had her sights set on a different path within the entertainment industry. As a matter of fact, she wanted to be a singer. After graduating from Palisades High School, Katey was admitted into the prestigious California Institute of the Arts. There, she honed her natural talent until she was ready to tackle the industry. Following her heart, she began her career as a singer-songwriter. This was a tougher path than the one she would have been on if she simply followed her parents' footsteps. Even so, her mind was made up. Even if she had to start from the bottom, she would get there. In 1973, when Katey was only 19 years old, she performed as a backup singer for some of the biggest names in the industry. She stood behind giants like Etta James, Bob Dylan, and Tanya Tucker, helping them bring their art to life. Throughout this period, Katey started to make guest appearances in TV shows. She even appeared on the prestigious detective show Columbo, alongside the wonderful Peter Falk. Though she was great in front of a camera, her heart still belonged to music, and so she persisted in that dream for a few more years. From the mid-70s to the mid-80s, Katey's musical output was at its highest. She joined 2 music groups, hoping to put her talent to good use. One was the group with no name, and the other was the Harlats. Though these groups achieved minor levels of success, they never blew up large enough to achieve worldwide fame. During this period, Katey remained active solo, providing backup vocals for Olivia Newton-John and the Molly Hatchets. She even performed the song "It's the Time for Love," appearing in the 1982 movie Silent Rage, featuring Chuck Norris. As much as Katey loved music, her career just wasn't taking off in quite the way she imagined. However, when it came to acting, she always performed wonderfully. This led her to sign on to her first major TV role in the sitcom Mary, starring Mary Tyler Moore. Excelling in her role as a newspaper columnist, she earned the attention of many producers, opening the pathway to one of her most iconic roles. Michael G. Moy and Ron Levitt created a sitcom for Fox about a former high school football player turned hard-luck women's shoe salesman known as Al Bundy. Katey was cast into the role of his wife Peggy, a lazy redhead who constantly berates Al and spends what little money he makes on silly things. The show was titled Married with Children, and for her audition, Katey showed up in her own red bouffant wig. The producers were so impressed with her interpretation of the character that they hired her on the spot. Because the show had a limited budget, Katey spent several episodes styling herself. However, when it blew up in popularity, Fox increased the budget, allowing professional stylists to begin styling her. The show was such a major hit that it ran for 11 seasons. As a matter of fact, it remains Fox's longest-running live-action sitcom ever. Even though critics had a love-hate relationship with the show, fans loved it so much that the studio has planned a remake. 4 years after the show premiered, Katey found out that she was pregnant. Instead of letting her take a break from the show, the producers ended up writing her pregnancy into the show and making the character of Peggy pregnant as well. This may have seemed like a smart decision at the time. However, it turned into a major mistake. Katey had a stillbirth, placing the producers in a really awkward position. Could they really make the character of Peggy have a stillbirth too? To explain away their big goof, the producers retconned Peggy's pregnancy by saying that she dreamed it up. Though some fans were annoyed, they went with it anyway. This mistake turned into a big lesson for all of the industry. In fact, with Katey's subsequent pregnancies, they did not dare make Peggy pregnant as well, but instead wrote a subplot about her going on a vacation with her parents. Despite experiencing such tragedy during her time on the show, Katey persevered in her role. When it was all over, she could walk away with her head held high. In 1994, she released her debut album titled Well. On one of the tracks, You Can't Hurry the Harvest, she discusses her miscarriage. Most other TV actresses would have a hard time landing a role such as Peggy Bundy again in their careers, but not Katey. Sure, after Married with Children, her career slowed down a little. Yet still, she remained active, accepting whatever roles came to her. Going so far as to appear in television movies, she never let up her work ethic. In time, she was rewarded for it. In 1998, American cartoonist and animator Matt Groening was producing a sci-fi animated comedy for Fox Broadcasting Company. He wanted Katey for the role of one of the main characters, Leela. Groening had already been a huge part of the animated TV hit, show The Simpsons. With him at the wheel, Katey knew Futurama would be a success, and did not hesitate to sign on. Futurama performed moderately well, but for how expensive it was to produce, it was dropped by the network. However, it built up a cult following over time, causing it to be revived again and again and again. Each time it came back, so did Katey. With the show running on and off for over 20 years, Katey Sagal is as popular with younger audiences as she is with older ones. By picking the right project, she ensured that the industry would not be so quick to forget her. Through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, Katey always had an iconic role under her belt. In the 2010s, her fifth decade active in the industry, the story was no different. In 2004, Katey got married to Kurt Sutter, an American actor, writer, producer, and director. 4 years after that, his show, Sons of Anarchy, premiered. Based on the real-life Hells Angels gang, Sons of Anarchy was a crime drama following the activities of an outlaw biker gang in California. It ran from 2008 to 2014. One of the main characters of the show was Gemma Teller-Morrow, the matriarch of the gang, a fierce protector of all members who was well-loved and respected. It was a complicated role based in part on Gertrude, the Queen of Denmark from Shakespeare's Hamlet. However, Katey played the role to perfection, netting herself a Golden Globe win in 2011. It isn't easy for any actor to have a career this varied, long, and illustrious, but through hard work and perseverance, Katey Sagal achieved just that. In 2014, the same year Sons of Anarchy ended, Katey was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Most of her friends from the cast of Married with Children were in attendance. To date, she remains active in the industry. She even made a guest appearance on the modern-day hit comedy show, The Big Bang Theory. Now 6 decades into her career, she has yet to land another iconic role. But with how talented, hard-working, and adaptable she is, we won't be surprised if she finds something soon. If you enjoyed this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click Enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.